Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Tammy Stoffel. I am StampinTammy, excuse me, from Washougal, Washington, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Sorry about the start delay there. I was a little late getting finished with dinner. So, tonight we're going to do a quick and easy gift tag. Sorry about that. I'm trying to make sure that my screen is not too crooked. So we're going to do an easy gift tag. I've got several gift tag ideas. I'm going to show you one of those ideas tonight, and then we can elaborate at another time. So it's always fun to receive a gift that has some personalization to it. Like, you know, the gift boxes that I showed last week, that adds just a little personal touch to the gift that you're giving. And they're fun to make as a crafter. So gift tags are, you know, you can make them any size, more elaborate or quick and easy. I want to offer up some quicker and easier options for you so that you can quickly get through your Christmas wrapping or whatever holiday or birthday it is. So these ideas are not limited to just Christmas. You can, what I'm going to show you is this tag topper, and it's a punch, and it is, I got to look at the catalog here because I can't remember the name of it. I had it on the tip of my tongue, but then it moved on. So let's see. So in the annual catalog on page 149 is a couple of the tag toppers. This is the fancy tag topper, and then there's the delightful tag topper as well. Either one of those makes a fun tag. It is a 2-inch opening on where the paper goes in. So a 2-inch tag fits in there, or strip of paper fits in real easily. I recommend that you take your paper and slide it in and then turn this over so that you can see whether you're butt up at the end with your paper, or if you're hoping to get it a little closer, you can see where you're going to be at. Okay, this one here fits quite nicely, so you don't have to make sure that it's even on either side. If you could use a skinnier piece, you just had to make sure that you line your paper up, center it as you wish. Okay, so I always recommend with the punches, if you can, that you have the image or the bottom of the punch facing upward so that you can actually see where the punch is happening at. Okay, so that's lined up nicely. We'll let that drop. And just that easy, you've got a cute little tag topper. You can make this into a bookmark. You can make it into a gift tag, a name tag, a label of any sort. You can use ribbon through here. You can use the twine, jute, yarn, whatever is your fancy. Okay, so just a couple of housekeeping things. I don't have a second device streaming, so I can't really see your comments unless I stand up and look over the top of my camera so that I have the best image for you all. We live out in the boonies, and sometimes the internet is a little slow, and I don't want the video to be too pixely for you by streaming too many devices. I did finish up the mail selector, I guess is what it's called. And that is the having Stampin' Up! Mail out the new catalogs to my customers. So if you have purchased something from me in the last year and you're not currently a demonstrator, then you have a catalog, a new, the January to June mini catalog, and the new celebration brochure coming to you automatically in the mail. As long as I have your correct address, it should come to you probably by the late December is what I'm guessing. I don't know for sure when they'll be mailed out. I did choose to have one copy mailed directly to me so that I have a clue when they do ship. The couple other pieces of information for you. The holiday catalog will be retiring at the end of December. Now, most of the catalog is retiring. There are a few items that will carry over, some into the annual catalog, and some will be refreshed into the holiday catalog in this next July. So if there are, the whole point of this is, if there's something that you really have wanted to get from the holiday catalog, like that Whimsy and Wonder paper, it is all while supplies last. There are some things that are on, that are discounted. There's a few dies that are discounted, but really, if there is something that you have been wanting to get, now is the time to get it because they are going to sell out quickly. The clearance rack has also been refreshed, so there's some new items in there. For the month of December, if you place an order with me, not only do I automatically send out a thank you, there'll be a gift regardless of the order size. If your order is $50 or more, I will also include a 4-card tutorial. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on our project. So what I have taken here is this piece of shaded spruce, and I've already stamped and heat embossed Sending Love and Peace this season. So all I did was take the, it's a sentiment from the Peaceful Deer stamp set. And I've got things sitting on top of it here, so let's see if I can do this without making too big of a catastrophe, or craftastrophe, I should say. So the Peaceful Deer stamp set, this is retiring. If you want this stamp set, now's the time to get it. The Deer Punch is going to carry over. I don't recall if it's actually going to be in the annual catalog or if it's for the next holiday catalog, but it will be carrying over. I have all that information. My printer is out of ink, so I didn't get it printed off. One more thing I need to put on the list to get. I went to get it at Costco here about a week ago, and of course they were out of the ink for my particular printer. Okay, so Peaceful Deer, it is the Sending Love and Peace this season that I used, and all I did is I stamped it in my well-loved Versamark ink. So Versamark is kind of a tacky ink. It's clear, sticky. So it will take the embossing powder, and I used the silver embossing powder on it. And I've had this for a few years, and it still looks like a new package. It very little, you use very little, and it goes for goes a long way. Then you just sprinkle that powder on and use your heat tool to set it. You can watch the heat tool actually melt that powder and adhere it to your paper. Don't try to do this with a hairdryer. A hairdryer does not get hot enough. The heat tool is the key to this. Okay, so we put the embossing, heat embossed the image on there, and now we're going to add a little, some little elements. I have all of these leftover elements from the Whimsy and Wonder Specialty Designer Series paper. And so I've cut out a couple of those packages. This is from the paper, and it's from the Christmas tree dies. And these are also the Christmas tree dies from that Whimsy and Wonder paper. I've got a little magnetic dish right here that I collect cat hair in. Sorry about that. And I have several little elements in here that I could use for this particular project. So we're going to just add a few little things and see what we come up with, okay? So you could use the these iridescent snowflakes if you chose. One side is iridescent, the other side is flat white, so you can actually color this any color that you wish. You can just easily use a blending brush and some ink over the top and make it whatever color you want it to be. So that's an option. These little trees, I'm going to get some adhesive going here, and we'll just adhere these however we want it to be. Okay, I think that we're probably going to just snip these stems a little shorter. And do a little bit of gluing. You can make gift tags out of just about anything, and you can stamp on many different items. You don't have to just stamp on paper. You could stamp on cloth. You can stamp on wood slices and make like an ornament. Lots and lots of different options. The Stampin' Blends are a wonderful option for coloring images on many different applications. Like if you were to color, if you were to stamp on a wood slice, and I have one over here, I'll show it to you here in just a bit. Okay, so there is that much. We're going to pop up a gift. And almost be done with this one. Let's see, my dimensionals right here. If you are thinking of gifts for a crafter in your life, a several different adhesives would be a nice gift. There's many things in the catalog that are inexpensive that can make for a great gift idea. I know I have another package in here. And we'll put those on there. So adhesives are a great idea. A bone folder, a pair of the snips. These are really nice scissors with a very sharp edge, and they work great with paper. And many crafters will want to have a separate pair that's specifically for ribbon, and much like your beloved sewing scissors. The Terran tape is inexpensive. The multi-purpose liquid glue, these are $4. So again, other options available. If you wanted to make put together an assortment of crafting tools for your loved one, I would be happy to help put that together for you. And I have a little gift bag, plastic zippered bag that could go along with that. So just like that, we have made a cute little tag. Add a little ribbon here to the top. We're going to use that that white organdy ribbon. Snip there. Let's see if I do this right. Oh. Okay. Well, I didn't make my tails long enough, but you get the gist of it here. Yep. That's what happens when you shortchange your tail, is it makes it a little difficult. Okay, so that's just the that's a start right there. Cute, personalized for someone that likes pink. You can put your little message on the back, attach that to a gift bag, a gift box. Or put it on the front of an envelope. Have this to go with a gift card. All right, so let's do something in the red here. We'll do a little bit of heat embossing. And then I just did want to show you here that I started playing around a little bit with the wood slices. I did find that the our dye-based ink, which is water-based, it does stamp on here nicely. It will run if you put sealer over it, okay, because it is water-based. And then I didn't get my heat embossing, enough of that Versamark ink on here, so my embossing didn't come through very well. But you could easily do glitter. If you were to use glitter, use the heat and stick powder, and then use your Versamark ink. Stamp it. Use the oh, let me get the name of it out here. Yeah, the heat and stick powder. This works really well with like the gold leafing. But the heat and stick powder would work really well for adhering glitter. So you use your Versamark ink, stamp your image, use the heat and stick powder to the Versamark ink. Heat it to a tacky point, but not dry, with your heat tool, and then apply your glitter. I would recommend a fine grain glitter, and you can make just darling little ornaments, or use one of these as a gift tag. Wouldn't that be fun to give to your loved ones or a friend? And then they would have an ornament to hang on their tree for the next year. Okay, so let's clear the palette just a little bit here, and get to making another one. All right, so we're going to use the same sentiment because that's what I've got mounted on the block here, and that is sending love and peace this season. I'm going to clean that real quickly. And I don't recommend that you use baby wipes on your stamps as the only cleaner. They do leave a little bit of lint, but I've got a little bit of Stays-On cleaner that I used on this particular stamp, so I wanted to get some of that off. And then we'll use the chamois to clean this. And if your stamp comes unmounted from the block, which is easy to do, just use your fingers. Okay. Close that up. All right. So because this is a wider image, you're not going to distort this much by putting it directly onto, with your hands, directly onto your block. So this one would work okay. If you have a long, slender stamp in particular, or a bigger stamp that's photopolymer, I always recommend that you use the apply the block to the stamp method, and that's where you would just set the stamp directly on your surface, okay, and then bring the block down to the stamp. All right, you're going to get it on there without having any distortion or manipulation, unless you wanted to do that. Like sometimes you want to manipulate the stem of a flower for it to be the shape that you are looking for. Okay, so let's get some Versamark here. And again, this is kind of a shiny, clear, tacky ink. And this is great for making watermark images, or also using the heat embossing. Give it a minute or two or second or two to adhere and transfer to the paper. Okay. And look at that. Can you see that watermark image? That all by itself is pretty. You can easily make a background using the Versamark ink without anything else. It gives you that tone-on-tone look, but it definitely is more muted than using the inks. Okay. So, there it is. I've got my little handy-dandy piece of paper here. And this we're going to use to capture that silver powder. And here you just sprinkle the powder over your inked area and then tap it off. Okay. One thing that I didn't do is use like the Embossing Buddy. Anything that would knock off some of the static. All right. The Embossing Buddy is a product that Stampin' Up! Used to sell. They no longer do, but you can get them online. You can, you know, through Amazon or at the craft store. You can get them or use a Swiffer pad. You can use a used dryer sheet. All of those would work. Just make sure that you kind of knock off any of the excess powder and look to see if you have any residual powder hanging around that's going to leave little speckled images where you might not want it. Okay, so we're going to put this back in here so that I don't blow embossing powder all over while I'm using the heat tool. And like I said, you can see it looks like it's still a new package, and I've done a lot of heat embossing. This is pretty easy to do, kind of a modified assembly line. You could do a couple of them at a time and line them up. Don't try to do too many and then go back and use the heat gun, because once the Versamark ink dries, it takes a little bit, but then it won't stick. All right, so my cord is quite short here from where my plug-in is. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Sorry about the noise there. But we're just going to let this start doing its thing. And you can, once the powder starts to really heat up, you can watch it change. Just like so. Okay. Yikes. I'm dropping things all over here, folks. Watch the end of the heat tool because it does get hot. Okay. All right. So I can see that I did get a little bit of silver flecks in there, but it is what it is. It's what happens when you don't use your anti-stick or anti-static piece. All right, so we're going to cut this down. We're going to get my little trimmer out here. And we're going to make this at about 5 inches. You can easily get 2 out of a single strip, or even 3 if you wanted, from the 11-inch side of a piece of cardstock. Okay. So we do have our snowflake. We'll put that up with a little, or down with a little bit of adhesive glue. Just like so. Okay. Let's see. was looking, I thought I had one more. Nope. Okay. All right. So here we have our little snowflake, and we can add some of our trees. Okay. We'll put a little bit of glue on the side of that one, and we're going to attach these two. Just like so. Okay. We're going to add a little more adhesive here. And as my cousin Shelley says, looks like you got some sticky fingers. Yes, I do, as usual. But that's okay. So we'll stick that together. Snip off that edge. And then we're going to pop these up on dimensionals. And for something like this, the mini dimensionals would work well as it's always nice to have an option. Yeah, the dimensionals come in the regular size. I've got minis, maybe. I don't have a package of minis that it's open at the moment. Okay, we'll put those packages up on dimensionals as well. Or maybe we'll do this tree and a package.